In this video, we'll learn how to set appointments and manage schedules for your clients using Google Calendar. We'll start by opening our Google Calendar through the Google Chrome apps. Now let's take a look at the most important parts of your Google Calendar. On the left side of your interface, you'll see the Create button. This is where you can set up events, out-of-office notifications, tasks, and appointment slots. Right below that is your monthly calendar. Next is Meet With, which is used to set up appointments with people in your email contacts. You also have your My Calendar, and lastly, Other Calendars. In the middle is your main calendar and schedule. You'll also see the time zones set by the user, and all the set meetings or appointments in your schedule. On the top left side, you'll see your search, support, settings, and date view icons. Note that settings icons houses all of the features and functions in Google Calendar, but certain shortcuts can also be used on your main interface. The date view icon lets you see your schedule on a daily, weekly, monthly, and even yearly basis. By default, it is already set to a weekly view. Now let's set an appointment. Once you have your client, the first thing you need is visibility of their calendar. This means we need to send a request so that your client can grant you access into their calendar. To do this, we need to go to your Other Calendar, click on the plus icon, and then subscribe to Calendar. This will bring you to your Add Calendar settings. Now we just need to type in our client's email and press Enter. A pop-up message can be seen saying you do not have access to the email's calendar yet. There is an option to include a message with your request, but since this is for your client, and your client is probably expecting your request, there's no need to type a message. We would just have to click on Request Access. Once the request has been sent, your client should be able to see an email like this. What your client will do now is to grant you access into his calendar by clicking on this link. Your client will then have 4 options to choose from on what type of access you will be given. The first option will only let you see whether the client is free or busy on specific time slots. The second will let you see details of the scheduled appointments, like the title of the meeting, who's participating, and sometimes what the meeting is all about. The third option will let you manage the appointments and make necessary changes. And for the last option, this will give you access to share your client's calendar with other people. The most common choice for clients would be the third one. Again, this will not only give you visibility on the meeting details of your client, but also lets you make any certain changes depending on your client's needs. The next thing you need to do is check your email. You should be able to receive an email just like this. Now to view your client's calendar, you need to click on Add this calendar. It will redirect you back to your calendar. You'll be able to see your client's email on other calendars and your client's schedules and appointments. Next, how do we set up a meeting between your client and another person? First, we need to send another request. But this time, it should go out to the person who will have the meeting with your client. Do you remember the steps? Go to Other Calendars, click the plus icon, select Subscribe to Calendar, and type in the email from your client's associate. Once the associate grants you access to their calendar, check your email and click on Add this calendar. You should be able to see both your client and the associate's schedule. To set an appointment, choose the best slot for the meeting and click on it, after which click More Options. Here, you'll be able to set the details of the meeting. First, place the title of the meeting. Make sure all of the details of the meeting is accurate, from the starting time to the end and the date. You can choose if the meeting will be through Google Meet or other third-party apps by clicking on the plus icon on the far right side of your screen. You can then see the different third-party apps supported by Google Calendar. On the other hand, if the meeting will be face-to-face, then you may type in the location of the meeting venue on the space provided for Add a Location. Set a notification so that your client and the associate will be reminded of the meeting. The next step is to add the guests for the meeting. Just type in your client and the associate's email and press Enter. After confirming the guest for the meeting, you'll notice that the organizer role will still be under your name. This must be changed since the meeting is only between your client and the associate. To do this, look for the calendar icon on the left side of your screen. Click on the drop-down option where you can see your name and choose your client's name. Once the setting has been updated, you'll see that the organizer role is now under your client's name. To finalize setting the meeting, you may add the agenda of the meeting if your client has given you any, or just leave it blank if none. Now you're all set. Just click on the Save button, and the meeting will be set and can be viewed through your calendar. One more thing to take note of. To lessen your confusion regarding time zones, it is advisable to display 2 time zones on your calendar. One is for your client, which is normally Pacific Standard Time Los Angeles, and the other one for you, in Philippine Standard Time Manila. To do this, we need to go to the settings, click on Time Zone, and tick the Display Secondary Time Zone to enable it. Now we have to choose the time zones. We recommend setting your primary time zone to Pacific Standard Time Los Angeles and your secondary time zone to Philippine Standard Time Manila. Click on the drop-down and scroll through the list until you find the time zones you need. Once you've set the time zones, there is no Save button on Google Settings, so we just need to click the Go Back arrow on the top left corner of your screen. If done properly, you should be able to see 2 columns for your time zones. The time zone on the right closest to the calendar is your primary time zone set to Pacific Standard Time, Los Angeles. And the one on the left is your secondary time zone for Philippine Standard Time, Manila.